I've been a big fan of Carr for a long, long time. Steve Carr and I are dear friends, and I started demoing Carr amps. I mean, it's been years and years ago. And this Skylark is one of my favorite amplifiers that Steve and the crew have ever done. And I'll tell you why. It's like the ultimate 2.6 V6 amplifier for American tones. I would pick this amp over any Fender style amp that is out there right now. And you know, look, I'll be honest with you, I work for an audio company that makes guitar amplifiers, but Steve and his guys, they make something that's unique and cool, and there's nothing like it in the whole world. And I'm just a huge fan. So the Skylark, what really is great for all of us is that the Skylark has 2.6 V6s. It's got a Celestion Type A speaker. Hence, it kind of breaks up really cool. I like it better than a Fender speaker, really, or a Jensen style speaker for this amp, because it still gets the Fender tones down low, but it gets, you know, more of a crunch like you just heard up high, and like this. Watch. Killer, right? But this thing will go from like 12 watts down to almost nothing at all. And right now I'm on the low wattage setting, but I'm gonna show you something really cool. Watch this. In a world where we cannot play very loud anymore, even at live gigs, below the level we're talking, bring it up a little bit more. Beautiful. But you guys always say, but Lance, you play with so much gain, we never get to hear anything clean. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. So let me fix that real quick. So I'm gonna turn the mid-range down a bit. So on this amp, you have volume with a low and high setting. So if you guys want to play super clean, you put the switch on low, and you almost can't make the amp gain up at that point. It's just super clean. So you're going to have volume with that switch, then treble, mid, bass, reverb, and then you'll have your presence control and the master. And the master has that built-in attenuator that we've all talked about Steve's amps before. Killer built-in attenuator. But I'm going to show you a clean sound real quick, like super clean. We're going to switch to the low and watch this. Maybe a bit more. Here we go. Super clean. Even deck that with the low setting. The low setting on the toggle and the volume. Just slightly broken up. Love the sound of that. I'm going to go to the high setting again, and we'll start that from pretty down low. You still get a clean sound, but it's a slightly different voice on the preamp. Bring it up a little bit more. And then so what we just heard was really cool, because we've gone from almost a ridiculously clean sort of blackface sound all the way up to sort of a decked tweed sound. Like really, this thing in the higher gain mode on the switch on the volume knob will get you really close to like a cranked up tweed twin. So you've got like, you know, cleans right up with the volume knob. And the reverb has a lot of range. Here it is all the way up. This is going to be like, you know, super surfy, right? And I can't do that without turning the delay on too. So check it out with delay. It becomes like a Yellowstone soundtrack kind of a vibe, right? You go. Love it. I run the reverb at about 10 o'clock and it still sounds like this. Sits back a little bit more in the mix, right? Low gain setting. The low gain setting is beautiful too. I love that. It's just more of a, you know, beautiful sort of blackface chime. So without turning a pedal on, you just basically flip that and you got Dangs like crazy. It's like a Tom Petty cover band dream amp. If you're in a band that does Americana music and you play like I play, I don't really do Americana music, but what I do is I always have my tone like right on the edge of you know, gain, but not there completely. This amp does that so well, and you just slightly turn your volume knob down, you're in clean land. So like in my case, some of my songs have these, you know, Americana sort of chords like. And that's what the mids kind of backed off. Now, if you turn the mids back up where I live and turn the gain all the way up, or, you know, about 3/4 of the way up, then you get back into almost like, you know, Marshall land, really, because of the Celestion speaker and the voice in the amp. Watch it. I live with every amp I have with the mid-range all the way up because that's where I just like to live. What you were hearing before I turned that back up was, you know, a little over 1/2 to 3/4. And now that's all the way up. And it does, once you do that, it gets into the rock and roll land, right? Which I like. Love it. So guys, that's with no pedals whatsoever, and this is the Steve Carr, the Carr Amplification Skylark. I love the guys at Carr Amplification. I will do videos for them as long as they ask me to, because I just enjoy having one of their amps here at my studio. It mics up beautifully. It sounds like $1,000,000, as you will hear on this video. And you can get down to, once again, ridiculously low levels. Let's do that one more time, a little rock and roll. If you can't use that in a small club or at your house or at the studio, I don't know what you can do. And when you flip that switch up and defeat that attenuator, those two 6v6s will provide enough headroom to really, really compete with the loudest drummer. So you don't need another one of these. You need one. I mean, I'd probably use two because I like stereo, but you don't have to. And it sounds great. So I want to thank Steve and the gang at Car Amps for giving me one more opportunity to look at this beautiful amp and look at the style on this thing. Does that look like something out of the Jetsons, man? That's like 50s diner stuff there. That's gorgeous. I love it. It's so retro and so cool looking. And I love these amps. The construction is second to none. They use like military grade wiring, military grade construction, you know, custom transformers. Everything in this amp is top notch. You could go buy yourself a Fender amp to get kind of a 6v6 sound, but you'd be missing the boat because this car amp does so many different sounds in this one small, very easy to use, and very, very conveniently small and sexy package. So, once again, I am Lance Keltner. This is the Car Skylark, and you've been watching me from my exciting home here with my lovely wife, LSA, who Steve met at NAMM. And yeah, Fort Smith, fun. All right, see y'all. Bye-bye.